Hey, I don't know about you, but before I got on the keto diet, you better believe I was eating at Mexican restaurants. Lots of tacos, lots of fajitas, all kinds of delicious things, especially guacamole. Who doesn't like guacamole? But today, we're gonna bring you a very friendly Mexican food dish, fajitas. Now that said, probably gonna ditch the rice and the beans, also maybe the corn tortillas, but it's still gonna bring you all that flavor. You're gonna be able to enjoy it however you want. So here we go. I'm gonna use all of 1 medium to medium small onion and 3 green peppers. So let's start by slicing the onions into small strips, and we're gonna do the same with the peppers. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and take the skin off of these onions. You're gonna wanna use a nice sharp knife so that way you're not sitting here crying by yourself in the kitchen. That's never a good look for anyone. Now personally, I like to keep the root on. It just makes this process a little bit easier as we go along, especially when dicing. And now we're gonna go ahead and just slice these into I would say about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch strips. Doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure to keep your fingers out of the way of that knife. This is probably my favorite knife that I own. It's a very cheap knife by Vitronics. I use it for pretty much everything and I've been using it for years. Oh, looks like the tears are gonna happen anyway, no matter how sharp the knife is. Just got a hot onion. And now we're gonna go ahead and move on to our peppers. Whew. So the way I like to slice peppers, I like to take the cheeks off and then come in hot around the outer sides. You can do whatever you want with this bottom bit. I normally eat them, but you know, you can do what you want. And then just slice them, same size. All right, set the vegetables aside and we'll be back for meat time. All right, and so for this recipe, I'm gonna use about 1.5 pounds of top sirloin. It's just what I grabbed. Really any beef can do as long as you slice it thin enough. And because we're gonna be making a marinade, I like to keep a bag nice and nearby. That way I have a place to put all the excess meat as we're going. Pro tip for the lazy chef, do the meat second so you only have to wash your cutting board once. All right, and so with any cut of meat, you wanna cut against the grain. So we're gonna try to do that here. It looks like the grain runs in a bit of a weird spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and just slice down and then slice into strips against the grain. One trick, if you find the meat's not cooperating, stick it in the freezer for a few minutes and then that way it will firm up a little bit, giving you enough for your knife to grip into. I didn't do that here, but it's a good tip for those of you playing at home. You wanna keep these pretty consistent size. I'm doing about 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch strips here. That way they'll cook nice and quickly. All right, I'm gonna go wash this cutting board and get ready for the next step. All right, I'm back. So now we're gonna go ahead and marinate this meat. So let's get that done quickly. I'm gonna take about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil and pour it right into a bag. Avocado oil, so that has a nice high smoke point, so you should run into less problems later. 1 heaping teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, maybe 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. So just give that a good mix. Throw that right in there. And of course, some salt. I'm gonna go ahead and add that now. Probably about 1 teaspoon of salt. Seal up this bag, give it a nice massage, and stick it in the fridge. I'm gonna let this marinate for an hour, maybe 2, and then I'll come back and we'll finish this recipe up. And so while that's marinating, right now would be a great time to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you could, hit the bell. That way you'll get notified of every new video that comes out. You can see how to do that right here. All right, welcome back. Now we've had a couple of hours to let that meat really get that marinade nice and soaked in. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on assembling the fajita skillet. First, turn on the skillet there, whatever you got. Put it on medium, medium-high. We're gonna go ahead and wanna saute. I'm gonna use avocado oil for frying as a nice high smoke point. You can use coconut oil, you can use whatever you normally use at home. Avocado oil is just what I'm gonna use today. We're gonna go ahead and use about a tablespoon, maybe 2. All right, now that these have cooked down, I'm gonna set them aside and I'm gonna take the meat and throw it in the pan, but first, add another 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. Let that oil heat up for a second, and then in goes our meat, pre-marinated about an hour, maybe 2 ago. If you weren't lazy, you'd want to work in batches, but I am. Now cook this to your level of doneness. I'm a medium rare sort of guy, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the vegetables back in, marry them up real quick, and then I'm gonna cover with cheese, and I'm gonna stick in an oven that I've preheated to broil for 4 to 5 minutes until the cheese is nice and melted. I'll see you back when we get back here. Let's go ahead and mix those vegetables in. Oh yeah, smells fantastic. And for the cheese, I'm gonna use about a 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese, nice and melty, always a good choice for Mexican food. And when you're running low on one bag, you break out the second one. Now you could be done right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven under the broiler for 2 to 5 minutes depending, and really let that cheese get nice and melted. So, just came out of the broiler. Would you take a look at these? These are fantastic. Honestly, this is a nice make-ahead meal. It's gonna make a couple days worth of food. I mean, who doesn't like a nice fajita plate? Throw some guacamole on there, some jalapenos. Really, choices are limitless. I mean, another option, you could take some low-carb flax tortillas, something from like a Joseph's or a lavash bread, put that in between, hit that with a little extra sour cream, toast it for a while, and you've got yourself a solid quesadilla ready to go. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm excited. I can't wait to get down on that. But if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell so you're getting notified every time I put out a new video. If you have any other dinner meals you love, please leave those in the comments below because quite frankly, always looking for some new ideas. I'm Sean from Keto2.me, and I hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you next time.